Are we live? We're live. What's up? It's Keith Kelfis here and doing an episode on the Untrapped podcast right now, live. I want to talk about this major challenge in the green industry, probably in all industries, but I'm a landscaper, and one thing that I really feel is true right now is this whole labor shortage. And I made a video about this a few months ago. I interviewed a fellow landscaper, and he was talking about how he can't find any workers. And so all of his customers are waiting. And then he said something very interesting. Now, this video has like 35,000 views on YouTube. And it hit mainstream America. So it got outside of the little eco bubble that is our industry, and all these mainstream kind of 9-to-5ers started watching it. And he said that his lowest paid guy is $16 an hour on the books. And all these people jumped in my comment section, attacking him and like attacking me, saying this something that was very specific and that I agree with. And I'm also kind of embarrassed. And it's like, they said, if you would pay your workers a living wage, if you would pay them enough, maybe they would be motivated to come to work. Maybe they would actually show up, correct? And then the interesting thing is not a single person in the comments took the conversation upstream and said, well, what about raising the rates on all of the clients so you can afford to pay the workers more money? And that's where the embarrassing part comes in. Like, I wish I could pay employees $35 an hour with full benefits, right? But when you go to the customers, if you were to even say that, hey, I have to raise prices 30 or 40% across the board. Now, depending on where you're at or the barrier to entry of whatever type of business you're in, right? If it's a low barrier to entry business where any chuck in a truck can get involved in the business, then of course you're always going to have people that aren't licensed and insured, not paying taxes. They don't have all that overhead, so they can get in and undercut and compete and stuff like that, right? But then once you have a legitimized business, you just have fixed and relative costs that you just can't get around. So nonetheless, people in the comments were upset saying that. But I'm saying if you were to, and this is where this entire inflationary period is happening right now, it's happening everywhere, all over the world, at least in America, everything is going up. And I think all the customers, a lot of them would drop you like flies, because are they willing to pay 30 to 40% more just so you can afford, not for the owner to make more money, right? Because the people in the comments in this video that I uploaded on YouTube a couple months ago, that even hit it hit a mainstream news YouTube channel. This thing got shared everywhere, and we're accusing small business owners of being greedy and being selfish and overworking their workers and not paying them enough. And that may be true, right? I'm not arguing with anybody on that. But what I am saying is that I'm hearing this overarching theme when I'm calling back customers who have left voicemails, who have called the receptionist, and I'm getting back with these customers. I'm hearing the same story over and over and over. And these are my target clients. These are people that I would love to have to be my new customer. They're saying, we can't get a hold of our landscaper, we can't get a hold of our lawn care guy, we can't get a hold of the guy to trim our ornamental trees. He has disappeared. This has been the most awesome landscaper, and we can't find him, so we're reaching out to you. They're calling my line of business. They're looking on Google, and they're trying to find somebody to get this work done. And when I'm on the phone with this customer, here's the interesting thing. It's like the customers don't know yet what's about to happen. I think that all of these trades that require the labor of lawn care and landscaping, HVAC, plumbing, all across the board, they're going to go up big time. As far as price, it's going to go from something that's commoditized, I believe, in the future, to specialized. So, what better time is there to get involved in the business, right? But I'm on the phone with these customers, and they say, I cannot find anybody to come. My landscaper won't even return my phone calls. And I've done an experiment. I don't normally talk to customers like this, but I said, do you want to know why your landscaper won't even return your phone calls? And they go, why? I say because we're all in the same boat. This is an industry-wide issue. Because he's not charging you enough to be able to afford the infrastructure and afford to pay employees a living wage so they'll actually stick around and go work out in 100-degree weather to actually do the damn thing so they can show up in a timely manner. Now, there are tons of lawn and landscaping businesses or small businesses that have proved me wrong. There's huge businesses out there that do tons of volume and they show up on time and they're very credible with their clients and they've figured it out. But what I'm saying is for your average small business owner who is, 1 to 3 trucks, they can't get to their clients right now. And that's because they're short-staffed, because nobody wants to work and all the free unemployment stuff. I get that. But, that's what I said where I'm embarrassed, right? I wish I could charge my clients the amount so I could pay anybody who works for me something where they would be excited and doing backflips. But I don't see that happening right now. But when I bring that up to the client, when I actually say stuff like that, just to see what the client would say, because I know I don't even have time to serve them anyways. I'm booked out for 2 months in my own business. We're booked to maximum capacity. We've stopped taking on any new clients. My voicemail inbox is full. We're swamped. We got rained out today. We have a project right now that we couldn't go to because it rained all night long. The garden beds are just saturated in water. We have to do digging. There's a brand new patio, and I just don't want to track mud all over the property. And so I'm working from home today. I worked all day from home, and now I'm here with you. But nonetheless, what is going to happen in the future? And I want to know this in the comments. What's going to happen? Are these customers going to start grabbing rakes and shovels and start mowing their own lawn and climbing up on ladders and trimming their ornamental trees and all their big bushes? Are they going to do it themselves, or are they just going to sit around and keep waiting for their landscaper? Because I change my minimum pricing depending on however busy I am. Usually we have a bare bones $300 minimum to do any service, to show up to the property. If you're the next door neighbor, it's a $200 minimum for me to even talk to you and step foot on the property, even to do something small. If I'm pretty busy, it's a $500 minimum to do any job. It goes up to $750. If I'm booked maximum capacity, it's a $1,000 minimum, pre-qualified on the phone with the customer. I say, okay, I know that you're willing to wait. We're booked all the way out till mid-October. If you want service, it's going to be, 3 weeks before I can get to you to give you a quote. And there's going to be a $500 or $1,000 minimum. And the customers say the same thing over and over. They say, whoa, well, I was hoping I could get it done for $200, this thing, right? And I totally understand. These people work hard for their money. But when they're used to paying, $25 to get their lawn cut, or $200 to get their bushes trimmed, or $100 to get their gutters cleaned, and now they can't find a single service provider to do any of this for them. No one's even picking up the phone. What is going on? What's going on? Why can't they find anybody? Because I think that the man-hour rate simply isn't high enough to be able to pay fully above board, legit, licensed, insured employees to be able to actually show up in a timely manner. Okay. With my wife. She works from home. She has a home-based business. My wife has a social media marketing agency, and then she has her Amazon business. So I'm super happy for her. But it's like 100 degrees in the studio. So I'm really thinking about that. Every single one of these customers says, well, no thanks, I'll wait, and I'll just keep trying to get a hold of my original landscaper. I'm like, you've been trying for 2 months. You're not going to get a hold of them, just like you can't get a hold of me. I've lost a ton of clients, too. Move the mic away. Here. Thank you. Sorry. Is that a little bit better for you? All right. So, I almost wish I could go on national television and say, all landscapers, raise your rates immediately. Wouldn't that be like illegal or something? I don't know. But so what can you do about this? I want to know. You can position yourself as a more professional business. You can give all your customers beautiful folders or trifold brochures with a copy of your copies of your insurance. Sorry, I'm stuttering. I'm not used to having this headset on and being in this environment. But you can attach copies of your insurance to all your quotes and do all these things to position yourself as a professional. But at the end of the day, sometimes you just providing a basic service is nothing more than transactional to the customer. They don't care. I have a lawn care guy who cuts my grass, and I told him multiple times, please raise my price. And he has, and I'm happy for him, and I want him to raise my price again because I want to practice what I preach. But aside from me liking Hunter, I think he's a great guy. He does a great job cutting my lawn. He's awesome. I love Hunter. He's great. The truth is, I don't even care. I come home and my lawn's cut. I'm like, oh, lawn looks good. I'll text him, hey, man, lawn looks great. The lawn looks great. But I'm not thinking about his life and his business and what he has going on and his future. I'm thinking about my life and my future to the point where I almost don't even care. I care about my lawn care guy, but I don't care. Me being a homeowner and hiring contractors to come to my house, I'm not looking for the cheapest price. I'm looking for quality work. If somebody's doing something dangerous or like an electrician, I want to know that they're insured, right? I'm concerned about all those things as a homeowner myself. But if somebody wants to come on my property or give me a quote, like a landscaper, and they're going to tell me it's $1,200 just to trim my bushes up front, pull the weeds, and put down some mulch. I'd be like, I'd probably do it myself because I don't want to spend $1,200 on something that previously would maybe be like $5 or $6. But it's not the customer's fault that you and I, if you're in the green industry, chose to make a career out of doing freaking yard work, right? Hey, I'm just calling it the way I see it. I mean, there is an entire criteria of customers who are willing to pay that $1,200 or that minimum of $50 per lawn. And I think that these are people who have something to lose, people who care about not getting a lawsuit or a slip and fall or something happening on their homeowner's insurance policy, people who have something to lose. And they've been through the gamut of all of the companies or service providers that have crappy communication. They don't show up on time. They don't say what they're going to do. They're constantly making mistakes and doing a bad job. They're willing to pay now for quality. That makes perfect sense. So, with all that being said, in my business, I have insurance and work comp and payroll and all that stuff, and I think it's astronomically expensive. It feels almost unfair, and the only thing that makes me not incredibly pissed off about it and shelling out money for taxes all the time and having to pay all this overhead is the fact that everybody has to do it, right? And there's only so long when you start your little tiny business and you're out there by yourself or you and just a helper, how long can you go under the radar before something happens? You should get licensed and insured and pay all your taxes and all that immediately. But, these companies are getting squashed in the middle. You got a little tiny lean and mean model, which is my business. It's a lean little profitable business where you have to just work your ass off to make it work, and you can make some pretty decent money because your profit margins are higher because you're involved in the damn thing constantly, right? And then you got the business 750,000 plus, whatever that point is. I don't know what state you're in or what your economics look like, where you have the infrastructure, the profit margin squeezes all the way down to 8, 9, 10%, maybe 12, 15% if you're lucky. I don't know what service you provide, but how long does it take you to cross that chasm where you're squeezed in the middle in cash flow purgatory, not making any money, right? And any economic tide or ebb or flow could change that drastically, especially with the issue with all of the free money and people not wanting to work or show up to work. I mean, I think that a lot of these mid-sized businesses are just getting crushed. I got friends that have been in the business 20 years. They're frustrated. Totally. And it's funny because you see, hey, what's up, Joe? You've been in the business 20 years. Why are you sunburnt? You look you've been working out? No, man, I've been working in the field. Like, dude, people are back out working in the field right now. Owners who were previously sitting in a air-conditioned office and out just doing sales and marketing, they're back in the field working their asses off right now to get all this done to make good with their clients. I've been out in the field for 3 weeks now. I'm feeling it. And I actually kind of like it. I ain't going to lie. I miss it. Putting on some audiobooks and going out and just working my ass off. So, a 3% profit margin. So anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. I just wanted to say what's up. And I'm also testing out this whole new system and setup in my studio. This has taken me literally 2 years to put all this together. I'll give you a tour of this studio soon. And pretty excited about it. All right. Enjoy the 100-degree weather, folks. Later. You can also listen to the Untrapped podcast on all major platforms. I'll come back in and I'll read the comments here. And later.